One thing that we've had in here since one of our early ones is organizing as an introvert. It often feels like, a lot of what I've talked about is knocking on your neighbor's door, things like that, speaking publicly. And that's not necessarily something that everyone is comfortable with. I will say, maybe you can get comfortable with it, right? I've known people who are traditionally introverted who really found their groove, once they got comfortable. So I would say, don't just say no, right? Be open to trying some things out, be open to mentorship, but at the same time, we can't expect everyone to take those, that active role step. So we've got kind of like how we need to provide multiple levels of engagement. We've got to have a way, for people with different comfort levels to get involved. We've also got to find a way to make our meetings accessible to a large group of different people. So hold meetings online, right? So if you're having a meeting in person, make sure it's available online too. And that can help the introverts, but that can also help the parents, right? That can also help the person that doesn't have a vehicle. That can also help the person who is just busy that night, but they could be there on the phone and at least listen in. So make sure if we're doing something, it's at least hybrid. And having the ability, like through chat rooms, through communications platforms, to continue to organize between meetings, right? The real organizing happens between meetings. If you're only organizing in 2-hour-long meetings once a month, you're not doing effective organizing. Make sure you're providing written feedback ahead of an in-person meeting. So if I can't be there, and I've done this before where I couldn't be at a meeting, I've sent the message, I vote this on this thing we're going to be talking about, and here's my reason. And they read it out, and some people listen and care, and some people don't, but my voice is still heard as a member of the organization, even though I couldn't be physically in a space at a specific time, because that's an unrealistic expectation for people, especially, again, when we're working with the working class, when we're organizing in the working class. It also provides the opportunity, if you don't feel comfortable speaking in front of the group, you can write it out, send it, and it can be shared by the facilitator, and they don't even necessarily have to name you. But then there's also lots of other places that people can, get involved. If you don't want to show up, you can support by doing graphic design for flyers or social media. You can copyright. Fundraising copywriting is an art that the Green Party sorely lacks skilled members with, right? So if you can write in that kind of cheerleader, please donate to us voice that a lot of us don't have, you can be a huge asset from behind the scenes, administrative work, data work, all kinds of things that can be done behind the scenes that don't require someone to put themselves out there, whether that be for comfort levels or availability levels or whatever. When running a meeting in person, meet for some specific activity and not just meeting to meet, right? And then we can also put together kind of alternative ways to get involved that aren't the traditional education, political education, rally, business meeting, right? We can do neighborhood cleanups. We can do tree plantings. We can, if there's a rally coming up, right? So there's a rally coming up. I don't feel comfortable going to that rally. I know there's going to be hundreds of people there. It's really going to trigger, my agoraphobia. But what I could get together to do is, 2 nights before, hang out in somebody's apartment, talk with some friends, talk with some comrades, have a good time, and paint signs for other people to use, right? Have a game night just to build those relationships. Because again, relationships and trust, not only with the outside community, but with your own members. So we need to make sure that people are feel welcome and wanted in the movement. And if you're an organizer, consider how to make your organizations more inclusive with decision-making and involvement.